If you're a skinny natty lifter and you feel like your back workouts are just turning into an arm day, you're not alone. It's not just you. We've all been there, pulling and like rowing with all our strength, only to feel like nothing but our biceps are actually like working out. So, that feeling is the number one reason why your back like probably isn't actually growing. And it's because like you're making what? Dude, I'm going to start over. If you're a skinny natty lifter and you feel like your back workouts are just turning into an arm day, I'll tell you, you're not alone. We've all been there, just pulling and rowing with all our strength, only to feel like nothing but our biceps are burning. That feeling is the number one reason why your back isn't growing, and it's because you're making one simple fundamental mistake that's killing your back gains. So that's about it. Let's go ahead and talk about it. I'll kind of walk you guys through it. One thing you guys are probably doing is you're probably pulling with your arms and not actually pulling with your back. So when you do rows, when you do any type of horizontal pull or any type of vertical pull, as much as you can, you want to try and use your back to pull and not your actual arms. So like if you're doing like cable rows, for an example, yes, you want to grab it with your hands, obviously grab the bar with if you feel like you're using your arms, but as much as you can, when you pull, you want to kind of squeeze your back towards the end. You don't want to feel like you're using all arms. So you see the difference between using my arms like this and actually pulling and squeezing my back as well too. The way you guys can kind of imagine it is if you imagine your shoulder blades behind you, like on your back. When you pull, you don't just like pull with your arms. You want to pull and kind of squeeze your back together like a chicken. So imagine you're like trying to touch your elbows together behind your back. If you do that movement, like right now, like in person, if you're watching this video, just try to touch your elbows together behind your back and you will feel your back squeezing. That's the kind of movement you want to feel. I'm like out of breath. That's how it should feel. That's how it should feel when you're like doing any type of back exercise. And same goes when you're doing vertical pulls too. Like if you're doing vertical like pull-ups or you're doing lat machine pull down, same thing. Like yes, you use your arms to pull, but you want to squeeze your back ultimately, and that will help as well too. Another thing is like that lack of mind muscle connection. So that kind of goes hand in hand with exactly what I just said. When you're like doing any type of movement with your back and you squeeze, like you like retract your scapula, you kind of want to focus on like your back and really focus on having that mind muscle connection and really like feel your back squeezing. Like don't just like do it, but actually like take notice mentally of like how your back feels. If you guys start doing that, that will help with your back workouts and back exercises as well too. Another thing is to stop like using so much momentum rather than like actually doing like controlled reps. So if we go back to the like cable row example, like yes, you could grab the cables and just pull them and then swing back, pull them and swing back, pull them and swing back if you're doing cable rows. But ideally what you want to do is do your cable rows with absolutely perfect form. You grab like whatever handle attachment you're using for the cable row, pull it back nice and slow, pause at the back, don't like swing your body back and forth, and slowly let it retract. So do you see how that's way better informed technique compared to just like grabbing it, pulling it, swinging it, grab it, pulling it, swinging it? Like you don't want to do all that. Otherwise, you're not training your back properly and you're just wasting your time on the actual exercise. So another thing you could do is stop focusing on like going as heavy as possible when you're doing back exercises. Yes, going heavy is important, but what's more important is like actually having good technique and actually like feeling your back being activated. So if you're doing rows, for example, and you're picking up weights off the ground, that's what a row is. You want to pick a weight that's challenging, but it shouldn't be like so challenging that your form and technique suffer. You want to pick a weight that you can actually do with good form, and that will help as well too. Another thing you can do for like your back exercises is at like the peak of the contraction for whatever exercise you're doing. Like let's say we are doing like lat machine pull downs again, like you're doing a vertical pull. When you pull down, at the very bottom, what you need to do is you need to squeeze. Like you need to squeeze tight and like feel the squeeze at the peak of the contraction. So you don't just like grab the bar, come down, and then go back up. Like you grab it at the very bottom, you pause and you like squeeze as tight as you can. Like you squeeze your scapula as tight as you can. And that rep will feel so much better compared to just like grabbing the bar, coming below your chin, and then going back up. Like yes, grab it, go below your chin, but at the very bottom, like squeeze, like really squeeze, and you'll feel a difference. What else? Let's see. I would say another thing is like make sure your range of motion is like all the way from point A to point B. That goes kind of hand in hand with what I just said as well too. So back to the lat machine pull down example. If you're doing lat machine pull down, you want to make sure your range of motion is completely full. So what does that mean? It means on the way up, you don't just stop right here. You literally go all the way up until your back is fully extended, your elbows are fully like locked out, and the bar is like at the very top that it can possibly go. And then on the way down, you come all the way down, come below your chin, and make sure, like I said, you're contracting and you're squeezing at the very peak of the contraction as well too. So you're not just doing your lat machine pull down like this. You're all the way up, all the way down, and make sure that applies to every exercise you're doing, not just lat pull downs. What else? I would say another thing is like make sure you're actually choosing and selecting exercises that are like good for your back. Pick exercises that you enjoy as well too. So I'll give you an example. You want to pick exercises that you actually enjoy. So if you pick like just random exercises that you find online and you're sticking to those and you hate them, what's going to happen is that your effort on those exercises are not going to be as intense because you actually hate the exercise, which probably means you're not going to give it your all. So if you hate doing like dumbbell rows off the ground where you pick up like one dumbbell at a time and you'd much rather do rows like with a barbell, then by all means do barbell rows as often as possible, because like I said, you want to pick exercises that you actually enjoy, because if you enjoy them, you'll work out harder. If you work out harder, you'll get better results. What else? I would say another thing is too much like focus on like single joint movements. So that kind of goes hand in hand with the dumbbells. Like I just said, like the dumbbell rows. Like, yes, you can do single hand dumbbell rows off the ground over and over, but that's not super efficient when it comes to time. And if you do want to be in and out of the gym, you have to be efficient. So rather than doing like single hand dumbbell rows, what you can do instead is like do a regular barbell row where you do using both hands, both sides of your back at once. Or you could do like a machine row where you get on the machine and you're using a machine row instead. Focusing on like two-handed movements, like double joint movements, allows you to lift heavier. You could increase the intensity. And like I said, it's also quicker as well too. Let's see. I would say last thing I want to talk about is like not having enough time under tension when you're doing your exercises. So this kind of goes with the range of motion as well too. Like if you're doing, I'll say like cable rows again, for example, if you're doing cable rows, you don't want to just like go in and out like super fast. You want to make sure that your cable row is like you're slow on the way down, pause on the way down, come back. Should be like a 1, 2, 3 second thing. Pause at the top for 1 or 2 seconds. If you increase the time under tension when you're doing your exercises, your results will be significantly better as well too if you are a natural lifter. Whew, that's kind of a lot. Kind of did all that in one take. But guys, that's the real reason your back doesn't feel worked. Those were a couple different lessons. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you guys got any questions about this video at all, or you've got more questions about your back or how to get a better back workout, check me out on Instagram, DM me in the word natty. I'll literally answer any question you have. And then another thing is that we have a cool school community. It's a brotherhood full of skinny, natty guys under 30 who are all trying to build drug-free muscle with just 2 workouts per week. So if that sounds like you, if you want to check that out, I'll drop the link in the description below. Peace out, you guys. See you on the next one.